I've eaten the same breakfast every single morning for the past 5 years and stayed at 10% body fat without tracking calories forever. Most people try to do the same thing and making at least one of these 5 mistakes I'm about to tell you in this video. I'm going to tell you exactly what the breakfast is, why it works, and the 5 mistakes that stop it working the way it should. I've been a personal trainer for 11 years, delivered over 8,500 one-to-one in-person sessions, trained myself for 14 years, and 5 years of eating this breakfast every single day is behind everything I'm about to tell you. And the reason I know exactly where it goes wrong starts with what I used to do before I found it. If you're anything like me, I used to make breakfast complicated. Different meals depending on training days, timing windows, making sure the protein hit landed within the 30-minute window. The kind of approach that takes 20 minutes, it costs a fortune and still doesn't really feel optimal. Then I started making protein oats, not because I read it was the perfect meal, because it was quick, it kept me full, and I actually liked it. And somewhere around week 5 or week 6 of eating it, I noticed something that I wasn't actually expecting. So first off, the decisions later in the day were easier, not because I was more disciplined, but because I was starting the day in a deficit, in energy, in protein, and satiety. I was starting the day with a full tank, and everything that came after was less of a battle. And here's the thing about that most nutrition content completely misses. The hardest part of staying in a calorie deficit isn't the meals you plan, it's the decisions you make when you're tired, you're hungry, and you're coming back home from a long day of work. It's the 9 p.m. trip to the kitchen where you're opening the fridge, hoping something miraculously appears even though you know it's not there, because dinner wasn't quite enough. And I know exactly what that feels like after training, knowing that you want something but you're not quite sure what you want. And here's what I actually figured out, which changed everything completely. A high protein, high fiber breakfast doesn't just change the morning, it changes that moment in the evening completely. Your hunger hormones are regulated, your cravings are actually lower too. The 9 p.m. trip to the kitchen becomes a glass of water instead of half a pack of biscuits. And that's the real reason this breakfast works. And that's why I've eaten it every single day for the last 5 years. I can't say it looks good, but the performance benefits I get from it completely outweigh that. And here's exactly what goes in it, so you can just copy it. So 65 grams of oats, it's the base, complex carbs, and keeps you full for hours. 1 scoop of protein powder, straight on top of the dry oats, and the order of this matters as well. And I'll come back to exactly why in a minute. 8 grams of honey, it's just a small amount, but just enough to make it actually taste like something you want to eat. And I don't skip this personally, because making food miserable is exactly how diets break down. Around 15 grams of peanut butter, a little bit extra protein, but some good healthy fats too. A scoop of creatine, around 6 grams, in with everything else. I'm going to take it anyway, so just put it in with your breakfast. And then the last thing is cinnamon. It just makes it taste better. There's no functional performance benefit to it. And boiling water from the kettle, pour it over everything all at once, and that's it, job done. And here's why the order of adding everything before the water really matters. And it connects directly to mistake number 1. Pouring hot water over the oats instead of cold water means everything incorporates and mixes properly, so there's no clumps. And here's the part that takes a good breakfast into a really great one. It's not just the macros in the breakfast, it's what those macronutrients do for the rest of the day and the evening. One of the biggest things I've learned from coaching hundreds, if not thousands of people over the last 11 years is that nutrition consistency almost never comes from willpower. It comes from removing decisions. Every time you decide what to eat, you spend mental energy, and by the end of the long day, that energy is completely gone. And the decisions you're making at 8 p.m. from an empty tank completely undo everything. Default meals which you don't have to think about fix that. When your breakfast is the same, it takes away all of those decisions, so it's already done. And that mental energy you were spending on breakfast is directed to other places, which actually need attention. So there's 3 really important things that this breakfast does at the same time. So number 1, it's high protein, 40 to 45 grams before most people have left the house. Protein is the most satiating, in other words, keeps you full for longer macronutrient out of the 3. So it makes you less likely to overconsume later in the day because you're already full. Number 2, it's high fiber. So oats in general are high fiber, as well as being high volume, which again makes you feel fuller for longer. So that means you don't have that mid-afternoon or evening crash which come from more sugary breakfasts or lunches. Arguably the biggest one for me is that it's zero decision fatigue. I don't have to think about what I'm having. I know what it is, it's the same thing every day, and the system just runs itself. Now, most people hear this and think they're already doing something similar, which they probably are, but here's where it all goes wrong. Mistake number 1, not stirring the protein in while it's warm. This is the one that pays off what I said earlier in the recipe. Stir it as soon as the boiling water hits the oats, so there's no clumps. If you wait until it's cooled down, it will clump and become a little bit gritty, which is not ideal. Mistake number 2, skipping the fat to save calories. The peanut butter isn't just for taste or decoration. The healthy fats slow digestion, extends satiety, and stops that blood sugar spikes which sends you into the cupboards 2 hours later looking for some more food. So cutting that extra 90 calories costs you 2 hours of fullness. It's not worth it. Mistake number 3 is adding too much honey. It's 8 grams. Don't just stir forever and have 20 to 25 grams of sugar. Again, that's going to be counterintuitive to what we just said. It's going to add loads of unnecessary calories, and it will make you more hungry in a few hours time because of the excess sugar. And here's where it gets counterintuitive, because mistakes number 4 and 5 are the ones most people don't actually see coming. Mistake number 4 is using unflavored oats or instant sachets. They're loaded with sugar, the fiber content is lower, and the satiety is worse. I personally just get the cheapest ones from Aldi. I know exactly what it is, and it actually mixes better too. The protein protein powder and the honey are doing the flavour work. Mistake number 5 is making it different every day. The whole point is that it's done by default. It's the same thing every day. You don't have that required mental energy of thinking about what you're going to do. Keep it the same, keep it simple, if you enjoy the taste and if it works for you. And a quick one, the free 4-week Softer Lean program coincides with my nutritional framework so that you can actually get lean, build muscle without spending hours in the gym. So head to the link in the description if you want to check out that. So over the past 5 years, that's the same breakfast every single morning. Not because I lack imagination, because it works. Because it keeps protein high, keeps me full, kills the evening cravings, and most importantly, only takes 2 minutes, which I know a lot about. The people who stay leanest the longest aren't the ones with the most complicated nutritional protocol or the most complicated breakfast. They're the ones that have built systems that run quietly in the background. This is one of them, and here's the challenge I've got for you for today. Find a breakfast, whether it's protein, oats, or something else which works for you, and have it every single day for the next 7 days. See how you feel, assess your hunger, assess how you feel in the evening when you're going into the kitchen looking for some more food. And once you've done this, breakfast is sorted. But here's where most people are getting tripped up even when the morning is right. There's one specific thing happening across the day with the nutrition, and the worst thing is most people think they're in a deficit because they're eating well and they're being sensible, but that last bit of body fat still isn't moving. And I've got a video somewhere over here which shows exactly what that is, so watch that next.